Hey everyone, Alex Ionescu here. Welcome to Investor's Guide to the Galaxy. Tesla beast roars. Competition says it's hard to compete with Tesla. EV sales will reach 90% of total auto sales in 2050. Analyst Daniel Ives says this is the right medicine at the right time. Although before we start, if you find this video helpful, it would mean a lot to me if you crashed the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and takes just a split second. If you want to show more appreciation, consider subscribing to my Patreon. Now let's dive right into it. Tesla stock price on January 13th is down 0.94%. The Tesla stock has done almost the same thing as in 12th of January, has dropped a lot in the first part of the day, and then you recoup the losses. It has dropped almost 6% in the first part of the trading day, and then it almost recouped all the losses. Past year is down 64%, past 5 years is up 424%. In this video, Farzad Mesbahi compares the prices of electric vehicles. With the recent price cuts for Tesla cars, competition has no chance. These competitors are not even making a profit on their EVs. They can't really afford to cut prices like Tesla. Let's hear him out.
This is Tesla now being at a point where having these factories ready to essentially go full bore, they know they're going to be able to generate a certain amount of profit from these vehicles that they're comfortable with, somewhere say maybe in the 20 to 25% margin range. And now that full self-driving is coming towards software 11, 11.3 supposed to be released soon, plus Berlin and Austin going live, they're like, you know what? We're comfortable passing this on to the customer because we're confident by the end of the year, we're going to be back to where we need to be, where our investors want us to be, which is around 25, 30%. And if that's the case, the implications from a financial perspective for this company are obviously great, but then everybody else is completely screwed. Completely screwed because you've retained your pricing power by doing that, and you're already competitive with everybody else because we know damn well that nobody's making money with these prices outside of Tesla. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And they've been open about it. I mean, the Ford CEO has come out very openly and said, we're not making any money on the Mach-E. It's very hard to make an electric car at scale that's profitable. Surprise.
Look at these prices after EV credit. It's mind-blowing. Tesla cars have the best range of all the EVs and have the best price per range. And obviously, they have the best time from 0 to 60 miles.
So we're going to see this orders come. We're going to see probably big delivery numbers in Q1. But the big question is, and people like Dan Ives talking about this is the right medicine at the right time. But the big question is, what happens to those margins, right? They're going to come down tremendously. And that's going to be probably a big discussion on the call on January 25th.
Now let's take a look at this article from Vijay Chandar, investment strategist at Wealth Management, Morgan Stanley. Investors can gear up for a long-term shift in automotive trends as electric vehicles are expected to account for 90% of auto sales by 2050. New and legacy automakers are investing heavily in electrification. Consumer demand for electric vehicles is high, and governments continue to incentivize both production and ownership. As a result, EV's share of global auto sales is likely to grow from about 7% today to nearly 90% by 2050. But the widely anticipated transition to global auto market dominated by EVs is likely still decades in the making, and there are potentially numerous opportunities for long-term investors to benefit along the way. What factors could propel this technology megatrend? There are several factors driving the growth of EVs from both a supply and demand perspective. First one, automakers are committing more capital. By the end of the decade, total capital expenditures for the EV industry could reach $108 billion. Demand for EVs is strong. Although EV ownership is relatively low today, Morgan Stanley research shows that 29% of the consumers are interested in purchasing an EV and another 24% are interested in purchasing a hybrid vehicle. Those percentages will likely grow as EVs become more affordable. EVs could reach price parity with gas-powered vehicles soon, at approximately $65,000. EVs are out of reach for many consumers today. In my opinion, they are almost already at parity with recent Tesla price cuts. However, continued performance improvements and reduction in the cost of batteries, which account for 30% of EVs' total cost, could lower the average EV price to $18,000 by 2025. That's less than a comparable gas-powered vehicle. Public policy has decisively shifted toward favoring the decarbonization. In the US, 24 states and the District of Columbia have put in place some form of clean vehicle policies, including increasingly stringent emission standards, as well as rebates and other incentives for zero-emission vehicles and related infrastructure. Globally, today over 85% of car sales are subject to fuel economy and tailpipe CO2 emission standards. The result could be a steadily growing market share of EVs. In the US alone, EVs are expected to become the predominant vehicle by 2045. As you can see here in this graph from Morgan Stanley, electric vehicles could account for nearly 90% of the market by 2050. We are now at maybe 7%. In 2025, 10% of global sales will be EV. In 2030, 22%, 2035, 44%, in 2040, 72%. I think they're too pessimistic on this one. I think global EV penetration will be much faster. Potential roadblocks to EV mass adoption. As this still nascent industry grows, however, there could be speed bumps in the near to medium term. Supply constraints. In the near term, a shortage of battery components such as lithium, cobalt, and graphite could continue to delay production and keep EV costs elevated. Similarly, a COVID-era shortage of semiconductors has recently boosted EV costs, although there are signs that the supply issues are abating. Insufficient infrastructure. By 2025, there will be 7 million EVs on the road in the US, representing 3% of total vehicles, and about 5 million charging ports will be needed to support them, up from about 120,000 today, requiring significant investments. In addition, increased EV use will place greater strain on the electric grid and likely require utilities in the US and Europe to invest hundreds of billions more in transition and distribution. I'd like to know your opinion on all of this. Please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please smash that like button so that other people like you see this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you that watch my videos. See you next time.